Bismillah ar-Rahman Rahim, my dear mrcs candidates. My name is Dr. Muhammad Omar Farouk. I'm a consultant vascular surgeon and examiner of the Royal College of Surgeons of England. I would like to share with you my experience in the last exam of Royal College of Surgeons of England in Cairo in July 2026. Of course, I am obliged to follow the code of conduct of examiners of the Royal College, including the Royal College Code of Conduct for using social media. So I will not be able to tell you which station I was allocated to examine for 3 days, or what are the questions that is being asked, or what is the best answer to answer them. This is not allowed for me to do. But what I'm able to do is to give an overall assessment of the exam. And I always say there is a good news and the bad news. Now, starting with the good news are two things. Number one, the number of female candidates in Egypt has increased, which I think is a very good sign. They reached up to 15 to 20% of the exam were female candidates. And you have to know that in United Kingdom, this ratio is between 50 to 60% are female candidates going for the surgical career. And I definitely wish them all the best. Actually, it also proves the fact that as an overall, the performance of female doctors is better than male doctors as an overall assessment. Now, the second good news is we know that after the prioritization bill, there was a drop in the number of training posts for foreigners in United Kingdom. Now, this seems to be changing because now there was around 4,000 training posts in United Kingdom, and the competition was fierce. So a lot of UK graduates were unable to get a job in United Kingdom. Now, this has changed because nearly most of the UK graduates already have jobs in the training post, and there is more jobs coming in and more new posts coming in, more surgical registrar and SPR training and specialized training posts are coming every month in United Kingdom. So it seems the job market in United Kingdom is going into waves between low number needed of foreigners, then again to a high number. And it seems we are in the beginning of a growing phase after the UK graduate already have their jobs being appointed to them. So I always like in this exam because I am part of around 20 examiners. All of them are very experienced. They are multinational. Some of them are British. Some are of a non-British origin, like India, Pakistan, Egypt, Bangladesh, and so on. And they are experienced examiners, so they give an overall assessment to candidates. So usually during the time break between the morning session of the 20 candidates and afternoon session, I have a bit of discussion with them. How is our candidate doing? And actually, this is a bit of the bad news. They were not happy with our candidate performance. They compare that to their practice in United Kingdom, what they are asked from registrar level to have. So as an overall, they were unhappy for the performance. And this is the same experience I have as well. In my 3 station, probably around 40 to 50% have failed in these simple, straightforward station. And this gives a very important information that Egyptian candidates are not well prepared to go to the exam. They think it's an easy exam. They haven't paid a lot of study to manage the exam. And let me put the two big mistakes that I have seen in the exam from candidates are the following. Number one, they are very much afraid of the exam. So extreme examination and anxiety. one of the candidates in one of the station, he just came into the station completely blank, unable to speak, unable to reply to questions. And this sort of panic destroys a candidate performance. I am sure in normal circumstances, this candidate will be able to speak and to perform. Otherwise, he wouldn't have reached to that level of MRCS Part B. So someone would say, yes, the exam is very stressful. We got very much an anxiety and we were unable to speak. And my answer to them, get training. There is now a lot of platforms that offer you a mock exam with an examiner online. So you can prepare yourself as in the exam, have an online mock station or on site. Both of them are available, but please get training. Don't let your first OSCE station to be inside MRCS examination. This is a very big mistake. So my advice to them to decrease the anxiety, training, training, training. And this is extremely important. Secondly, one of the very common mistakes is you do not have a system of examining a certain organ, certain body, certain disease. So you don't have system for lower limb examination, cranial nerve examination, joint examination. You should have a system between step number 1 to step number 15 or 16, and you should automatically do it exactly in that sequence. I get very commonly candidate do some steps and then stops and then think, what shall I do next? This is very bad because you should not have this situation. You should have a system of a checklist that you do every time. Again, a lot of very important sentences you completely forget. How can you summarize your finding? This is very important because as an examiner, we think of you, if you are on call with me and I have asked you to review a case in A&E and you come back with a message, how you will say your message. Another situation, communication skills was very bad. The performance overall was extremely poor. And this is not just my opinion. It's an opinion of most of the examiner during that week in Cairo. One of the examiner told me something which is first time to really to see that. He was responsible for surgical skills station. And in this station, you have a plastic model and you do something. Okay? Now, he was extremely unhappy with the performance because this is just a simple surgical task. And if you perform it that badly, you really cannot pass the exam. So he actually collected all the plastic models that candidate have made and put it in one large image and said, this is not a performance of a candidate. And as you know, when you are a candidate for MRCS, you get a briefing in the morning and you get a debriefing session after the exam. A lot of the debriefing session, a candidate complain about, well, surgical instrument is not very good. The needle holder does not hold the needle. This was not true. We did check it. It was perfect. Secondly, you say the plastic muzzle was very weak. It was tearing apart. The tissues was not like human tissues. It was very bad. I couldn't work on it. This was again totally wrong because we have one specimen which one candidate performing exquisitely good with the same tools, same instrument, same plastic. So my advice, please train on surgical skills at your home before you come to the exam. Buy a plastic pad and try to get experience in excision, suturing, draining an abscess, opening with a knife, training doing suture multiple times. I have seen some performance I am sure he has not done it on plastic before. And one of the basic stations that you should be really go through it, even if you're blindfolded, like the suture station. Again, we've seen a very, very bad performance. So, what are my advice to candidates? Number one, train for this station. I have created artificial intelligence platform that can make you being trained in all the stations online anytime you are available. And you have an AI examiner and you have an AI selected tools to prepare you for the exam. And you get your grades, you get your performance per domain, and you get advice how do you improve your performance to pass the exam. I think this is an essential tool. So training, training, training. Secondly, you should study much harder than this. This is not an easy exam. It offers you a big advantage opportunity of working in United Kingdom, in Canada, in Australia, in New Zealand, and get a very good surgical training. And it gives you GMC registration as well. So you can work in any specialty you are licensed to practice. Thirdly, the number of candidate, the competition is very tough, very fierce. Number of jobs are not that abundant, but there is number of jobs available. So please work hard for this exam. Increase your performance. As an overall, I was not happy to see candidates from my country going to the exam with this level. So please have a warning sign before the exam to tell you, are you ready or not? One last thing to mention that again, I'm not happy is not showing up for the exam. I examine once every year in London and nearly I haven't seen once a candidate does not show in the exam. Maybe something happened to the candidate or something unfortunate, but it is 1 per 1,000. In Egypt, we have 3 or 4 candidates paid the fees. They become very stressful before the exam and they don't show up. So it was happening every day. That is why my advice, please do not pay the fees for mrcs Part B unless you are ready for the exam. Don't put the money, say that I will be squeezed to get a very good level of studying by putting a timeline on me. It doesn't work this way. If you're ready, pay the fees. If you're not ready, wait. So this is my advice and my feedback. We all are extremely happy when an examiner see a good candidate. Overall, in Egypt, what I have seen is maybe 5% were pretty good candidates. I'm sure they will have passed. They performed extremely well, but they are 5%. 50%, they fail. They are below the red flags. They are below the red line to pass. And 45% are struggling. And this is not the ratio that we see when we examine in England. Someone would say yes, because in England, English is their mother tongue, and they already work in NHS system, which is available to them. I say that is true. That is advantage of UK candidate over overseas candidates. But this does not prevent that 5% of you with these two disadvantage can perform very well. So it is within your capability and within your grasp to improve your level, to improve your English, to improve your communication skills, to study hard for this exam. And believe me, we all examiner becomes very, very happy when we see a good candidate passing this pretty straightforward exam. So please grab the opportunity in 2026 and 2027 with the old format of MRCS examination. Things will become more difficult with the new system. So take the opportunity, pass MRCS with the new system, and then get a good job, and then start for the final FRS. If you have any comment about this video, you can put it in the comment section. I will be delighted to come back to you to answer it. And again, I'm honored and privileged to be examiner of the Royal College of Surgeons of England, to be part of MRCS, part to be examiner's team, which I think is the most fair system that humans can have to pass an exam in medicine. I wish you all the best. I hope to see you next time with an excellent performance. I hope you get enough training that you can fly through the exam as if you are just everyday practice. Thank you very much. I hope to see you soon, and I wish you all the best.